Hello everyone, my name's LJ and this is just my first video actually because I've been a Spurs fan for 45 years. I'm very opinionated, I care a lot about my club. Used to go regular till I had a family and that. So my mate said to me, why don't you get on the old YouTube, that's what everyone else is doing, and discuss about Spurs. Well, 45 years, as I said, I've been supporting Spurs. Where are we now? Most of the 45 years, except for the old cup run, have been pretty poor, haven't they? Let's be fair. Where are we now? Probably one of the biggest clubs in the world, financially anyway. But that's not what fans care about. Am I Levy in? Am I Levy out? I'm sort of like that at the moment. He has done spectacularly well for the club with new ground, new training ground. Has he invested enough? I'm not sure yet. I'm going to reserve judgment, just as I am about Ange. And I think this North London derby coming up on Sunday could be make or break for Big Ange. A lot of you might say that's a bit over the top. That if we go on Sunday and go and lose 3-4, 5-0 and continue to play this high line, ridiculously high line in my opinion, then I think a lot of the fan base will start voicing their opinions. A few have already. My opinion is to just drop deep, maybe 10, 15 yards, like we did against Man City at the end of the season last year. I know we lost the game, but we played a lot better, didn't we, than what we have previously, even though many of us wanted us to lose that game. And that's another matter anyway. Basuma could be out, so I'm assuming that Bentancur will take on the number 6 role. Arsenal could be without Odegaard, Rice obviously. So I'm hearing a lot of Spurs fans saying, oh, we're going to win this, we've got to win this, we've got to win this. I don't share that same confidence. Martinelli, Sterling, they're going to cause us loads of problems, especially if you play that high line. Arsenal last season at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium just sat back, caught us all by surprise and just picked us off. And that's what worries me about Ange. What do you lot think? You just got to look at Tottenham as an opposing manager and say, look lads, just sit back, wait till they come up to the halfway line, ping a diagonal ball or even a straight through ball, just like Newcastle did the other week. Get any other average Premiership manager with that back four and goalkeeper, even back five, because I think Dragusin's a good player, good defender. Any half-decent manager, Premier League manager, in my opinion, would have us conceding a lot less goals and a lot less chances. That's the frustrating thing for me. Could you imagine Pochettino in charge of this current team? He'd have us up there challenging him for the title, 100%, just like he did when we had Toby and Jan. So I'm still 50-50 about Ange. I like the man. I want him to succeed, obviously. I hear a lot of people saying you can't keep sacking managers, you can't keep sacking managers. And no, you can't. And I do agree with that to a certain extent. But there comes a time where if you're Daniel Levy in the board and you're watching these games and the same thing is happening time and time again, then surely you've got to call him in and say, look, what is going on with this high line? Because that team on paper, in a lot of Spurs fans' opinion, including mine, should be challenging for the title. Honestly, they should be challenging for the title. Porro, Udogie, Romero, Van der Ven, Dragusin, Vicario, Basuma, Bentancur. That's just to name half of them. They should not be conceding these chances and goals. And it's all right saying, oh, if we score 3 or 4, we concede 3 or 4 goals, we'll score 5 or 6. It's not happening. And there's a lot of pressure on Solanke this weekend. It doesn't matter about the price tag. He didn't make the price tag, but inevitably people are going to want him to score in every game. Otherwise he's going to get slated. That's just the world that we live in at the moment. There's a lot of pressure. He should have done better against Leicester, but probably having a bit of ring rust. But the other thing that concerns me about Ange is there's no plan B, is there? At the moment, it's get it wide, down to the byline, cross it in low, score that way. But teams are now starting to double up on our wingers. So what's the plan B? Okay, we've taken a few more shots from outside the box. Is that the players basically saying, sod it, we'll just do it anyway? Because I can't see Ange telling them to do that. But there's no plan B. Even under Redknapp, we had a plan B. Look, we're struggling. We can't break a team down. Whack Crouchy on it, the diagonal ball, and feed off the nod downs. But there's no plan B under Ange. Let me know your opinions then to see if am I just being an old fart and a pessimist. But I'm not actually a pessimist. I always try and look on the bright side of things, but I just think we're that close. We're so close to being able to challenge at the top end of the table. With this team, squad a little bit better. Was I happy with the transfer window? I was happy that they got rid of all the deadwood. Signings wise, I think they should have bought Eze, 100%. Just get in there and pay it. Even if they wanted, 68 million, but 60 up front, just pay it. You're getting all this money in. You're behaving like a big club in terms of infrastructure. Show it with your money. Just go and buy Eze. We would have probably beaten Newcastle and Leicester with Eze, in my opinion. You can't just rely on Solanke when he comes back. Richarlison's on and off, made of glass. You can't rely on him. Maybe you should have told him, look, you're going to have to go. We don't want you here. He would have gone if you'd have said you ain't going to get in the team. Selling for 60 million. You could have bought Eze with the 60 million. You need different players around the pitch to score the goals, not just one. But I'm just hoping on Sunday we don't do exactly the same as what we did last time. This is a huge game, in my opinion, to ascertain exactly where we are. I know Arsenal might have a few injuries, but it doesn't matter. They're still Arsenal. It doesn't matter if they've got a few players missing. It's still Arsenal. And let's be honest, and it does hurt me to say this, they're better than us. But especially with their two players out, we should be beating these. 100%. This is a marker, in my opinion, of exactly where we are under Ange. And if we get beat, say we let in another three, get beat again, then it's just not good enough. He's got to change his tactics. If he refuses to change his tactics, then we're in trouble. Our form hasn't been good. Didn't someone say the other day we've won 13, lost 13 and drawn 5? That's mid-table form. I know you're going to get inconsistency, but where's this fast-flowing Ange ball? What we're supposed to have seen. You see it in the training clips. I know you're not going to see everything, but you see it in the training clips. Pass, 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 move, move, move. And although I'm a massive fan of Romero, is it only me that can see he gets the ball and just stops and plays it slow? Surely Ange doesn't want that. He's got to tell him to pass, pass, quick, quick, quick. I know Romero's good. Brilliant defender. Excellent defender. Brilliant at passing through the lines. But he slows things down for me too much. And Ange is supposed to have said, look, no slow stuff, pass, 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 we'll have a rest at half time, we'll have a rest at full time. This is what we've all been led to believe from his own mouth. So why aren't you telling players like Romero to hurry it up? When it does click and they play at speed, Spurs are a very good team. I've said that for a couple of years now, even with, like last year, very odd occasion where we play a fast tempo, they're an excellent team, but it's just not enough. So Sunday, again, I'll say, is absolutely massive for me. Not just because it's Arsenal. If it had been Liverpool, Manchester City, Villa, I think that this game, especially being at home, is the marker to see exactly where we are under Ange. And what do you think? If we lose 3 or 4-1, 3 or 4-0 on Sunday, does that mean Ange isn't the man? If we win 3 or 4 or 5 Sunday, I assume that means he is the man. Or have we got to wait another window and then another window? I really don't know the answer to this, but it'd be interesting to see what you lot think, fellow Spurs fans. It's hard not to be a pessimist after supporting Spurs for 45 years. The football is better, admittedly, but I want us to see us win something. I want us to see us give it a good go in Europa League. I want to see a Carabao Cup, I do, just to get that confidence in the squad, the team, that they can win something. But I think it's time he started challenging again, like he was under Poch. He's been backed enough. I can't see him going. Someone asked me this the other day, can you see him being sacked by Christmas? And I said no. That's what I was just about to say. No, I can't see him going before Christmas. But if we lose to Arsenal, even if we struggle and win against Coventry, and then lose the next game, I think he'll be under a lot of pressure if Daniel Levy's looking at the back end of last season as well. It's a very difficult... I think it's 50-50 if Angie's going to be around, to be honest, around Easter time, if I'm being honest with you. He needs to get at least a good performance against Arsenal, smash Coventry, smash Carabao in the Europa League. There's not really any excuses for those two games, but this one, as I keep saying, is to me the marker. Still got to wait on Van der Ven and Dominic Solanke, but apparently they are fit, so that's good. Will he start with Odegaard, or Odegaard, however you pronounce his name? I thought he did really well against Leicester. I thought he flattered to deceive, to be fair, against Newcastle. Didn't really want to take his man on. He looks like a confidence player that when he runs at the defender and beats him, he'll do it again and again. But if he can't beat him, he wants to pass it back. I think that's too much of the problem. Sonny does it as well. I'm a massive fan of Sonny. I'm not going to slag Sonny. But I think he is coming to the end. Doesn't mean that I think he's rubbish. I don't all start saying, oh, you're slagging off. I'm not. But everyone comes to their level when they're going to start going down. And as I said earlier, teams do double up against us in the wide area, so we've got to find another way through. So does that mean starting Johnson, putting Kulu in the centre? I think that would be a good idea. It would be a good idea, in my opinion, if we can somehow outnumber Arsenal's midfield, especially if it's not the midfield of Odegaard and Rice. Put a bit of pressure on them, because they're only just coming into the team. Put an extra man in there just to give them a bit more pressure, so they're sort of like caught in the headlights sort of thing. Get off to a good start, but I'm praying that we just sit back another 10 yards. Do you think, people, that Ange will sit back another 10 yards for the North London derby? Sorry, North for the South London derby, Woolwich. I don't think he will. I hope I'm wrong, because, as I said, Martinelli, Sterling, Saka, it doesn't matter about their midfield. They might sit back Arsenal and think, well, this midfield's not our number one midfield, so tell the defenders to just ping it diagonally over the top. They can still do that, no matter whatever team they can put out. Any team can do that against us. And I do think that our system, relies too much on Mickey van der Ven. If by some miracle you found another Mickey van der Ven, then the system might work. But I just don't like this leaving two at the back when we're pushing forward. And I think that also he could do himself a favour by, when Udogie goes in and inverts, the other person, Porro, should stay back, and vice versa. Or why don't you go three at the back? You've got a couple of youngsters, like, is it Dorrington in the under-21s? So he can go on the bench. Play your three at the back and let your fullbacks go. You know, you can go wide, you can go inverted, but three at the back would be much better than leaving two at the back, surely. And if Ange can't see this, then there's no hope. But as I said, I really hope he succeeds. But I think if he swallows his pride a bit and just tweaks it a little bit, we could have a really, really good season. But I'll be interested to see how many of you out there actually think that he will tweak the system. I'm going to go for a no. And if I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up and I'll be happy that I'm wrong. Because I think if we do that, we can beat Arsenal this Sunday. And I think we can beat them well. If Solanke's not fit, because apparently they're saying he's fit, but it's not 100%. Is Richarlison fit? I'm sort of 50-50 with Richarlison, but I've got to admit, I'd love to see him in this game, because he pisses people off. He gets on their nerves. He winds them up. And I think this the good side of Richarlison. And if he is fit, he could just run around and wind them all up, because he is a wind-up man. He reminds me a bit of Sergio Ramos. Whenever you used to watch Real Madrid, you hated him, but you'd love him to be on your team. That's what I think Richarlison is. A bit like Marmite, innit? But yeah, so I wouldn't be too bothered if Solanke can't start and Richarlison does. But I'd probably like Solanke to start, play 60, 65 minutes, and then I'd put Richarlison on, because obviously it's Solanke's first game back. And then that will keep the momentum with us, especially if we're going forward. I think Maddison's got to have a good game. But I do think he's a bit wasted out on the left. What do you think? It's like, I think that's why he didn't get in the England squad, because every time he was picked by Southgate in the England squad, he was put out on the left. Same with Grealish. I don't rate Grealish at all on the left, even for Man City. He just goes forward and passes it back. If you want, Grealish used to play in the central midfield, my Villa mate told me. But that's what I think Maddison should play in there. I think he's wasted out on the left. You're wasting it. So that'll be interesting. And obviously, Kulu will be interesting. Brendan Johnson. I've been asked a lot about Brendan Johnson. And it always seems to have to be a scapegoat with Spurs fans. And Johnson seems to be getting it in the neck at the moment. My opinion is, unfortunately for him, I think he's better off coming off the bench. He seems to have a massive impact when he comes off the bench. So would I start him? I'm not sure. I probably would put him on the bench, to be honest. And I like Johnson. But he's not 26, 27. So he doesn't deserve, in my opinion, all the slack he's getting. He was slated against Newcastle, where I actually stood up for him. And when you watch the training, down the right, he's been told to go down the right. You don't even have to look, whack it across the 6-yard box. And to be fair to him, that is what he did. But no one ran in. Even Sonny didn't run in. No one. Odegaard didn't run in. I run a Sunday team, and sometimes we do this tactic. And I've told them the same. Don't even look up. And admittedly, we haven't got just one like Spurs or two. I say to them, as soon as someone goes down the right or the left, someone's got to be at the back post, penalty spot, and near post. So you've got 3 blokes going in there. So you haven't got to look in. You can't blame Brendan Johnson for pinging that ball in. He was just waiting to be tapped home. And to be honest, it doesn't matter if, Solanke's not there. They haven't got another striker that could anticipate that. You do it in training every day. A professional footballer, even if he's a midfielder. Look at Lampard running into the box and scoring goals. Any professional footballer should know, if Johnson's going down that right wing, you know where it's going. Just make the run, make the gamble. But no one did. So I'm sorry, on that occasion, I'm gonna stick up for Brendan Johnson. But because it's a North London derby, I'd say put him on the bench. But if we're not doing well down the right side, I would even put him on at half time. I don't believe in this 60, 65 minutes. It's the rule of thumb where you've got to put, if someone's playing crap in whatever position, I'll put them on after 20 minutes. Not enough managers do that, in my opinion. So no, that's about it for today. My first YouTube. Please let me know your comments and your thoughts about Sunday, your comments about Levy and Ange. It'd be interesting to see and hear. See if there's a lot of you on the same page as me, hopefully. Come on, you Spurs.